Students spending their Friday night not celebrating, but remembering a life lost.
Plus, a boxing controversy you'll see only on News 13. And this time, we're not talking about Mike Tyson. News 13's 11 minutes of nonstop news begins now. Boxing, bribery, and a scandal that stretches from Mexico all the way to Las Vegas. It's a story you'll see only on News 13. Good evening, I'm Cathy Ray.
And I'm Ross Becker. A Texas woman is facing some hard time for illegally helping a well-known boxer fight right here in Las Vegas. News 13's Rob Piercy joins us now. Rob, we're talking about a fight from nearly 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, the famous 1998 rematch between Oscar De La Hoya and Julio Cesar Chavez. What happened prior to that fight led the FBI to open a 2-year bribery investigation with ties to Las Vegas and Julio Cesar Chavez. Had the feds not busted up a massive Mexican drug ring, this scandal might not have ever been uncovered. August of 1997, federal agents bust a massive drug smuggling ring. The ring brought more than 4 tons of cocaine and marijuana into the United States. Trying to figure out just how the smugglers made it in so easily, agents went to the U.S. consulate in Juarez, Mexico, a bustling town just across the Texas border. There they met Arcelia Betances, a consulate employee whom the smugglers paid thousands of dollars to get their visas approved. Speaking to News 13 by satellite, federal agent Art Werge explains.
Ms. Betances was using her official position to generate U.S. referrals for individuals to obtain their U.S. laser visa in an expedited fashion.
If a person had the cash, Betances would rush their visa applications to the front of the line, cutting down their wait time by as much as 2 months. One of those people, world-renowned boxer Julio Cesar Chavez. In 1998, prior to this fight with Oscar De La Hoya, investigators claim Cesar Chavez went to the consulate in Juarez.
And Ms. Betances assisted him in getting his laser visa for him and his group, his family, to cross into the U.S.
In exchange for the speedy approval of his visa and the visas of his crew, Chavez offered Betances an all-expenses-paid vacation to Las Vegas. It included a stay here at the Mirage and free tickets to the big fight.
She received these gratuities and may have engaged in further discussions of monies for additional assistance.
Federal prosecutors say the bribe from Chavez and 2 other unrelated bribes led to this 4-count indictment against Arcelia Betances. 2 weeks ago, a jury found her guilty on all counts. She now faces up to 34 years in prison.
Julio Cesar Chavez.
While Chavez will not be prosecuted for the bribery, Nevada athletic commissioners say it could cost him the chance of ever fighting in the state again.
So we look at everything. Whether or not this might be something we might want to look at, we'll get more information at that time. Again, the commission has no paperwork in front of them regarding Julio Cesar Chavez.
But they are looking to license other foreign boxers, fighters who should now consider themselves warned.
And we will do everything we can to help the fighter within the law. They have to follow the law, and that's just the bottom line.
The Athletic Commission often writes letters of recommendation for foreign fighters trying to get their visas. They've done it before for Chavez. Why he chose to bribe his way to a visa in 1998 remains a mystery.
And as far as he's concerned, he's back in Mexico now. Has he said anything about this at all?
You know, the federal agents who were prosecuting this case went to go and look for him. They went to Mexico to try and find him. They weren't able to find him. We also tried to find him through connections through the Boxing Commission and so forth. We were also unable to contact him, but what they tell us is because he's a Mexican citizen, it wasn't really worth pursuing any charges against him. Whether or not we ever see him back here in Las Vegas to box, though, that's another question.
All righty.
Interesting.
Thank you. Great story.
Thank you. Well, charges are filed against the college student who admitted to leaving pipe bombs in mailboxes all across the Midwest. Suspected mailbox bomber Luke Helder is now in an Iowa detention center. He was taken from the Washoe County Detention Center in Reno late this morning. He's now charged with 2 counts, alleging he planted a bomb in Iowa, plus charges in 4 other states. If convicted, Helder could spend the rest of his life behind bars. New tonight, candlelight shone in the teary eyes of Las Vegas high school students this evening.
A vigil remembering one of their own brought more than 50 students to the scene of yesterday's deadly crash. 16-year-old Natasha Keeter remembered at the spot where she lost her life yesterday morning. She was one of 5 girls who crashed rushing back to school after lunch. The car, driven by 16-year-old Ashley Troster, wrapped around a light pole. Keeter died and 4 other girls are still in the hospital tonight. Their friends say being late for school isn't worth a life.
I mean, if you're going to be late, take the tardy. It's not worth losing your life over.
Metro says Ashley Troster does not have a driver's license. Investigators are trying to determine why she was behind the wheel.
And now an update on the conditions. Ashley Troster and her 3 surviving passengers, as we said, they're still in the hospital tonight over at UMC. 16-year-old Troster is in the pediatric intensive care unit. We're told she is in critical condition still. 16-year-old Ashley Biersack and 15-year-old Kylie Quinn, they too remain in critical condition. And 16-year-old Alicia Valdez is in fair condition tonight.
Well, if you think traffic and construction on South Rainbow Boulevard is bad, it's I guess going to get worse before it gets better. Eventually, Rainbow will be 3 lanes in each direction, all the way from Tropicana to Blue Diamond. That'll solve the problem of 1 lane each way, shared between cars and big rigs. But in the meantime, fixing that problem is only going to cause more in terms of long delays. The people who watch the dangerous traffic on a daily basis say it's going to be worth it, though, in the long run.
Well, you see people trying to pass each other. It causes there's accidents because it's just 1 lane. Somebody's going slow, somebody's in a hurry. You know?
A lot of traffic, trucks.
Bad drivers?
Yeah, fast drivers.
Yeah.
Rainbow should be up to 2 lanes going each way in about 2 years. The other lanes, I guess, will come after that. If you're one of thousands of people who are trying to lose weight, you may be intrigued by some of the products you hear advertised on the radio promising to melt away those pounds.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Well, we're talking about Body Solutions and Metabolife. Now, you've probably heard the DJs pitching those products on the radio, but they're also being paid to help sell the so-called weight loss formulas. News 13's Marc Martinez has looked into these claims made on the radio.
Yeah, are these promises just too good to be true?
Well, as
usual?
Well, yeah. As much as we'd like to sit back and just watch our waist shrink and not really work too hard at it, just about everyone will tell you that's not going to happen without a lot of hard work. But still, the makers of Body Solutions and Metabolife are targeting people searching for a weight loss miracle. And the companies are making a ton of money by making dieting seem so easy.
If you listen to the radio, you've heard the advertisements. Local DJs swear by weight loss products like Body Solutions and Metabolife. The pitch is simple. Use the products and watch the pounds melt away. It sounds good, but does it work? That depends on whom you ask.
There are a lot of people who are spending a lot of money on products that they hope will be helpful to them when they might be better off spending it on bananas, apples, oranges, you know, just traditional foods.
Dr. Susan Meacham runs the Department of Nutrition Sciences at UNLV. She says while get-thin, quick diets are always popular, they often don't last.
Sometimes you can see some immediate results, but whether they're lifelong is usually not the case.
According to testimonials on the Body Solutions website, dozens of people have shed hundreds of pounds using the formula over the course of 90 days. But lawyers in Florida and Michigan recently filed lawsuits against Marc Nutritionals, the company that makes Body Solutions. Disappointed customers accuse the company of misleading advertising by claiming you can lose weight in your sleep with its evening weight loss formula. The suit also claims customers weren't told the Body Solutions atomic energy pills contain ephedra, which can cause health problems for some people. But still, the company is fattening its profits with the help of popular DJs paid to help sell the supplements. Doctors say some of the ingredients in Body Solutions work as a natural laxative, which may help you lose weight temporarily, but may not be safe on a long-term basis. And according to Dr. Meacham, consumers can lose weight on their own by simply eating the right foods.
Their objective is to add dietary fiber equal to the same amount of a bowl of oatmeal. Well, a bowl of oatmeal is very inexpensive. So, and if you're getting the same benefits, it seems to me that might be a little bit easier.
And a lot cheaper. A 3-month supply of Body Solutions will cost you more than $200. Metabolife is less expensive, but can still add up if you take it for any length of time. Both products advise users not to eat 3 hours before going to sleep.
But Meacham says that's something you should do anyway if you're trying to lose weight.
Any of us, if we don't eat after dinner, have probably reduced our total daily calorie intake. So that step in itself is good.
The bottom line for consumers is to remember there's a difference between science and marketing. And just because that familiar voice on your radio tells you it works, doesn't mean it's true.
And we called several of the local disc jockeys that are pitching these products on the radio, but nobody would agree to go on camera to tell us about how it worked for them. Also, our phone calls to the makers of Body Solutions and Metabolife went unanswered. Now, some people do say they have lost weight using the products, but most doctors say it's probably a placebo effect. Again, you know you're on a program, so therefore you'll kind of avoid.
You get in the mindset, I have to lose weight. This is helping me, but I'll also go ahead and I'll stop certain things.
Yes. You eat less anyway.
Exactly. It's more of a behavior thing. You'll avoid the cake and the donuts and things like that because you know you're taking these things to lose weight.
So just don't take them and don't eat the donuts.
And eat some oatmeal.
It might be cheaper.
Thanks a lot.
Sure.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Well, you know, there are some very dedicated people out there. They're here in town, and they work to eliminate malnutrition and hunger through education and awareness.
Yeah, and we saw some of them tonight. Kathy and I stepped out on behalf of Chefs for Kids to help raise some money. We emceed a silent auction and dinner at the Four Seasons. Guests from all across the valley, including Senator Richard Bryan and Nevada First Lady Dee McQuinn, were there to contribute. Chefs for Kids creates nutritious snack programs at 9 different schools here in the valley. It was a great night out there.
It was a great night. About 500 people were out there and raised a lot of money for kids here in the valley. So I guess the question is, what's cooking for tomorrow's forecast?
We had to ask it that way, right, Nate?
Absolutely. We're out at a barbecue earlier this evening out at George Harris Elementary School. And weather-wise, we're going to start with just about 24 hours ago. We did have some cloud cover, but boy, did those things just race out of here in a big-time hurry. Then we were left with those gusty winds. There was a wind advisory for a little while today. When you get up and at them, we think it's going to be breezy to windy, one of those things where it's almost a meteorological semantics argument. The bottom line, you'll probably think it's windy. The temperature will be about 62. During the day tomorrow, we'll try to keep the breezes to 20 or 25 miles an hour, but cooler. Instead of the 80s, it'll be in the 70s. And what's ahead for Mother's Day Sunday? We'll have that forecast for you in a few minutes, Ross and Kathy.
All righty, Nate, and still ahead after Nate's 5-day forecast. Remember the good old days of the birth control pill?
You sure do.
That's right. See how they could become a thing of the past.
And Mike Tyson says he wishes his upcoming opponent, Lennox Lewis, was dead. In fact, he says he wishes he could kill him now. You'll hear from Lewis coming up later in sports.
But first, this Mother's Day weekend will be a different one for a local mom. See how she came around to help her son come out. That's next on News 13, Inside Las Vegas.
Street.
The News 13 weather line, 248-4800.
With more complete coverage, News 13 continues with Ross Becker, Cathy Ray, Nathan Tannenbaum with your complete forecast, Ron Futrell Sports, and Tricia Kean with Contact 13. This is News 13 Inside Las Vegas.
Welcome back, everybody. You know, thousands of people came to downtown Las Vegas tonight.
Yeah, and they did so all in the name of Pride. The annual Gay Pride Parade followed a route along 4th Street to 4th Street to Fremont Street. While fun was the central theme, some politics also played a part in this. Members of Equal Rights Nevada were out gathering support to defeat a ban on same-sex marriages in Nevada. For one Las Vegas teen, it was the first time down the gay parade path. News 13's Veronica Sanchez explains how his mom is dealing with the news. Veronica?
Ross, Kathy, it's not exactly the news parents want to hear that their son or their daughter is gay, but it's the secret Michael Butler could no longer keep to himself.
He went to an art school. He went to a charter school.
18-year-old Michael Butler spent the day getting ready for the Gay Pride Parade, folding leaflets and helping out with the posters.
I'm expecting a lot of diversity and interesting people and a lot of music and fun and excitement.
He's ecstatic. Are you kidding? It's his first parade.
But excitement wasn't the emotion he had 2 years ago when he came out to his mom.
He was just nervous, and he told us, you know, I think that I'm gay.
Mom didn't react with shock or even anger.
We were more sad that he hadn't told us sooner.
Michael's mom did what a lot of parents of gay kids don't do, accept their child's sexuality. Michael has a lot of friends who don't have that kind of support at home.
It makes me sad for them.
The little triangles and just flick them.
Michael says his life is different now.
I found myself, I found my community, and now that I can actually express myself, I feel more at ease.
As for Mom, she's proud to have her son walk down the parade route.
He's ready for everybody to know, and I said, we're here, okay, you're ready, I'm ready, let's do it.
Now, Michael and his mom say their relationship is a lot better now that the secret is actually out, and they're planning a special Mother's Day celebration with the family. Back to you.
All right.
Thanks, Veronica. Great story.
Yes, especially as we head into Mother's Day weekend, isn't it?
Yep, and also you have some nice news for us, too.
Yes, I think it's going to be beautiful on Mother's Day. The wind wasn't as bad as it might have been today. Certainly was annoying and kind of a bad hair day for just about everybody. But the breezes shouldn't be a huge factor tomorrow, and they'll be even less of a factor on Sunday. So a pretty nice weekend ahead. The temperature roller coaster ride will certainly continue. We've been in the 80s one day, the 70s the next, and that'll be the case tomorrow before we get you back into the 80s on Sunday. All right, Stratocam here at 11 o'clock shows us already down to the upper 60s, and the breezes are a-blowing. 69 degrees officially. Humidity is at 11%, and there's the wind out of the south at 22 miles an hour. The barometer is rising to 9.64. Checking on some other temperatures around town. Henderson, you guys are still in the lower 70s at 73. Windy, and 73 also at Nellis Air Force Base. North Las Vegas, you're at 67. Summerlin, you're at 69. And the National Weather Service checking in at the 70-degree mark. Really not a whole lot of wind going on, just kind of spurts here and there, upwards of 20 miles an hour, generally 10 to 15 miles an hour at this time. And checking in at Mount Charleston, they say the wind is not a big factor. 75, the warm spot down in Laughlin, otherwise all 60s, except for Mount Charleston there at 40. And officially, we made it to 83 today. Yesterday's high was 89, and then tomorrow we'll be back down to the 70s before, as we mentioned, climbing back to the 80s on Mother's Day. Low this morning was 67. We're close to that right now. We're thinking it's going to be more like right around 60 when you get up in the morning. 5:38 for you guys getting up at sunrise on Saturday morning. Air quality, I have a couple of of dust down in the southeast and northeast parts of town, and the pollen counts have been updated. We're still hanging in there. Olive is in the high category, mulberry also at high, so pine is the lowest one at this hour. Once again, those clouds racing on out of here. We're kind of looking upstream to see what may be in store for us next week. After we get through tomorrow and then Mother's Day, we're pretty sure there's going to be a warming trend going on, because the clouds are just kind of disorganized, not a whole lot going on. We may be back into the lower 90s for afternoon high temperatures on Monday, Tuesday, and on Wednesday as well. We'll quickly check the day-in temperatures here throughout the southwest. Beginning at noontime, they were in the 90s just briefly there in Phoenix, 64 right now in Albuquerque, and 49 in Denver. And for your family and friends across the nation, there's that red stuff. It was very warm across the deep south. As far as rain is concerned, haven't had a whole lot of it, but what rain there has been fairly strong. Severe thunderstorm watches earlier this evening in Texas, and that's a tornado watch right now over the Texas and Oklahoma border. But back home, whatever you want to call it, breezy, windy, variable winds to 25 miles an hour. You'll wake up to 62. During the day tomorrow, yes, the breezes may be a factor to 20 miles an hour, and the high drops to the upper 70s. Basically not a bad day for Saturday, as a great start to the Mother's Day weekend. If you're heading up to the mountain, winds to 25, 55 the high after waking up around the freezing mark. Lake Mead, not too bad for boating, 85 the high after 65 the low. And let's get you through the Mother's Day weekend, and we'll show you that warming trend. 85 for Mother's Day with Mom on the left side and my wife, Linda, on the right side. Then 90 for Monday, 92 for Tuesday, 91 on Wednesday, you guys.
Very nice. Thanks a lot, Nate. From the health team tonight, you've heard about the nicotine patch to help people stop smoking, right? Well, now there's a new type of patch to prevent pregnancy. It's called the Ortho Evra patch. Women apply this patch once a week. It releases hormones at a continuous level every day, the same hormones as in the birth control pills, and it stays on even after swimming or taking a shower. The patch is 99% effective in preventing pregnancy when it's used correctly, and like the pill, it does not protect against HIV or other sexually transmitted disease. Still ahead on News 13 at 11, a free trip sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, and it usually is, as the story goes. When they call it timeshare, they're not kidding. See how Contact 13 helped one woman out of a bind. Next on News 13 at 11.
Right
the first time, it's AccuTime.
Now, with more complete coverage, News 13 continues with Contact 13.
Here's a question for a Friday night. How'd you like a free trip?
It sounds pretty good, but there's always a catch. And that's when our Contact 13 volunteers can help. Here's Tricia Kean.
Peggy Edwards had signed up for a timeshare weekend vacation to Lake Tahoe, but there was a catch. Peggy and her husband would have to sit through a 90-minute timeshare presentation.
We contacted the company and requested a cancellation of the contract. We received assurances that the credit would be applied to our credit card.
When the Edwards credit card bill arrived, there was no credit. Peggy called the company and got the runaround.
The person with whom I spoke insisted that that could not be done. And I was so outraged about the situation that I told them that I wasn't going to pay it.
So the Edwards called Contact 13. One of our volunteers got involved, and the Edwards were eventually credited their money.
I appreciate all the effort that Contact 13 put forth to help to resolve the problem.
Peggy Edwards has a suggestion for those of you who find yourselves getting the runaround.
If you need help, Contact 13.
And if you're having a consumer problem, go ahead and give Contact 13 a call. Our hotline number is 368-2255. We're open Monday through Friday from the hours of 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. As you just saw, Contact 13 gets results. For Contact 13, I'm Tricia Kean, News 13, inside Las Vegas.
All right, time for sports. Lakers and the Spurs battling it out tonight in San Antonio.
Big one tonight, and Lennox Lewis hopes he doesn't get bitten by Mike Tyson next.
Ross, Cathy, Nate, and Ron, weeknights on News 13, inside Las Vegas.
Now, with more complete coverage, News 13 continues with Ron Futrell and the sports team.
Okay, last year when the Lakers lost a playoff game, they responded by winning 4 straight over Philadelphia. Tonight, the Lakers coming off a loss to the Spurs. Tim Duncan picks up his MVP hardware before the game, and David Robinson shows up for the first playoff game against the Lakers this year. And the game gets physical. Shaq, watch him barrel his way through Robinson. That'll help Robinson's bad back, huh? Later, Kobe gets knocked down, does a nice slide, then watch his left wrist. Walton gets sort of crushed on there. Robert Horry goes down in a heap. And then Malik Rose smacks Shaq into camera row here. The Lakers put out a great fourth quarter to win by 10. Game 4 is Sunday, presumably less physical. Okay. Detroit at Boston. They set a record for lowest scoring playoff game in NBA history tonight. Antoine Walker to Paul Pierce. We finally found a bucket here. They didn't score too many. Celtics lead by 2. Then Detroit at the free throw line. Just over 2 seconds left. Still, they're down by 2. They miss intentionally. Pistons need a miracle to win. There's that miracle. But wait a second. The turnaround three-pointer would have won it, but it was after time had expired. The replay shows the call was a good one. Can you believe it? NBA officials made the right call. Boston wins a thriller, 66-64. Not a halftime score. That's the final score for you. Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis will meet June 8th in Memphis. We've heard a lot from Tyson. While Lennox has been keeping rather quiet, he's been staying under the radar and continues to train virtually undetected. But he does have this advice for his hungry opponent.
He eats before he steps into the ring. That's all I'm saying.
Lennox, you're a gentleman.
Well, I hope, hopefully I'm too tall for him to bite. And, maybe he'll try and pull my hair or something.
Oh, he could bite him on the leg. He's done that already. Andre Agassi today at the Italian Open in Rome. He's pleasantly surprised with the way he's playing on clay this year. And that's nice with the French Open less than 3 weeks away. Andre serving in the near court against Alberto Costa. Andre wins the first set 6-2. Andre in the far court cruising his way through the second set. He wins that one also 6-2. Andre moves on to the semifinals where he's going to take on Yuri Novak next. Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. You want to get up, watch the Indy 500 time trials and see what happens there. The poll is up for grabs tomorrow. You have 5 local drivers tomorrow here on News 13.
That's right.
Beginning to qualify at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
All right. Busy weekend ahead.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. You guys have a nice weekend. That does it for us for now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Have a great Mother's Day, and we'll see you back here on News 13 inside Las Vegas.